if anything good comes out of this, it might be that America seems to be paying attention to what's happening right now and is getting a better understanding on how this country operates in the red consistently. Just printing more and more money. Worthless, unbacked money. And Obama has, you can call George Bush whatever you want, say he added to the deficit. No one has added to the deficit like Barack Obama. Barack Obama comes from the world. If you don't have it, charge it, man. Worry about it at the end of the month. And then charge some more. Get another credit card to pay the old credit card. I've had friends that have tried to pull that off. You know what happens? Eventually that pyramid scam blows up in your face and you are dead in the water. Walt's on line 6. Hello, Walt.
I'm on the Ryan heading south. I'm almost to the Garfield Boulevard. It's just kind of creeping along about 10 miles an hour. But I certainly enjoyed listening to your criticism of Mr. Obama.
Well, it's just I'm not really criticizing. I'm just trying to tell the truth as I see it, as accurately as I can. The guy's a train wreck.
Well, I didn't hear you say one thing that was incorrect. I could add some.
Go ahead.
For example, there was a guy that called in this morning, and he was blasting away at the New York bankers and so forth, how bad they were and so forth. The one thing he left out was those New York bankers are a bunch of Ivy League educated limousine liberals. And guess who they supported in the last presidential election?
Okay, I'm following you. I'm with you.
Obama.
Of course.
They gave him, he was their boy. And with all this talk about financial reform and so forth, the one thing Obama could have done and didn't do was reduce the size of these big banks. They're bigger than ever. You remember that the Bush stimulus package, the bailout?
Okay.
What were we told? We were told we have to do it because these banks are too big to fail.
Right. Wait a second. Let me stop you right there, Walt. And it doesn't matter whether we agree or disagree. But I'm going to repeat what I've said all along, and it seems I don't want to take credit for it, but it seems that I've been ahead of the curve for the last 6 years. I get it right, and then I hear it on all the big networks. If you fail, that's your problem in America.
Of course.
Nobody should be bailing out anyone. Right. And I'll tell you, even including the banks, because this is what would have happened, well, and not at the expense of the taxpayer. If the banks went down, some rich guy like a Trump or whoever, Buffett, whoever it might have been, maybe a combination, maybe they would have got together, would have come in and they would have pulled a Potter. A Mr. Potter, and they would have picked up all that paper for 50 cents on the dollar, and life would have went on, and eventually they would have crawled their way out of the hole, and they would have made a ton of money, but it wouldn't have been at the expense of the U.S. taxpayer. It's real easy. If you go down, you go down. Someone will pick it up if there's a profit to be made there. If there's not, then why are you doing it anyway? And we all know that there's a profit to be made in the lending. There's no doubt about it. People make money, and the reason they make money is because it's on such a huge scale. It's billions of dollars at 1.5%, which is a ton of money. So now go ahead.
Well, the one thing that should have been done wasn't done, and that is to break up these big New York banks. They're bigger than ever. They even played a role in the Greek fiasco because they helped the Greek politicians hide the fact that the numbers they were giving the EU to become a member of the Eurozone were all baloney.
Yeah, they massaged the numbers, and that might still blow up in a lot of people's faces. And
yes.
Don't be surprised if some people go to jail for a long time over there. Spain did the same thing, or Portugal, whichever one, it doesn't matter. One of the four pigs, which that is what they call them. Portugal, Ireland, Greece, and Spain is known. They are known as the pigs in Europe. They massaged the numbers in order to get to become part of the Euro, a group. And then who knows what deal do you make in order for the banks to agree? Don't you think there had to be some kind of deal made there? we'll lend you and blah, blah, blah. Why would they want to do that if there wasn't anything in it for them? It's the same as the Van Til claim. There's nothing in it for me. There wasn't anything in for the banks to put their reputations on the line. There had to be something in it.
Hey, Big Ranch, welcome to the program.
Hey, Preach. Hey, Walt's going slow because right at the 57 merge there, in the left lane going towards Indiana, there was a 3-car accident, and it had just happened right before I went by, so that's probably the reason he's going 10 miles per hour.
I have to assume outbound.
Yes, outbound. And most importantly, the Sox won 2-1. So.
I just saw that it's a final. Sox defeat Detroit 2-1. What happened last night, by the way?
Well, I went to bed and it was 4-4. So
that's when
they gave up.
Yeah.
They gave up a run in the 8th inning and then they lost it. So
Sox do they defeat Detroit this afternoon, 2-1. Cubs taking on whom later?
They're going to lose to Milwaukee again. So they swept the only team worse than them, Houston, and now they're going to be swept by Milwaukee.
7-game winning streak. We're right back in this thing as long as we don't wait until September 25th to go on it.
Yeah, right.
Now listen, Big Rich, we're getting ready to mind meld here because I'm going to prove that all this nonsense about no inflation and blah, 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 we're holding our own. I have 3 items today, and I'm going to show them on the camera, and I'm going to describe them, of course, to you just listening out there, and then we're going to mind meld on what the bottom line cost was at Walgreens for 3 items.
Okay, I hope I listen long enough.
And it should be fun. Well, turn me on when you get home, man. You know what I'm saying?
My wife could turn you on, but I don't think I will.
10-4. Joe from Highland wants to get half-hour number 2 going. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Preacher. Every once in a while I have to call you to set my mind straight and correct me where I am wrong, okay? If I'm wrong, okay?
If you're wrong.
Yeah, my conception or misconception is that the debt ceiling has been in the news, and the budget has been in the news. It's receiving some attention, okay? At any rate, my conception is that the Democrats had all 3 branches for 2.5 years or so, and they couldn't come up with a debt ceiling or a budget in that time. It seems to me they could have passed, say, make it. They could have set the budget ceiling at $20 trillion. This way, it would give them a lot of latitude, to operate.
Sure.
And they didn't do it, and suddenly they want it all done in about 2 weeks. And what am I missing there, Preacher? Or am I wrong?
Well, you're not wrong. The Democrats did control both houses, and they
all 3 branches.
Yeah, they could have done until America got sick and tired. They could have done just about anything. They had carte blanche. Why they didn't do it, I don't know. It's an interesting. It's a question that no one has really come up with an answer to. No one's really come up with an answer to that yet.
Couldn't they set the budget ceiling at $20 trillion, and they could have spent as much as they wanted to?
I think we agree that they could have. The question is why didn't they? And I really don't have I haven't heard an answer from anyone, one that I believe anyway. The Democrats don't throw anything up there, and Republicans just say you had the chance but you didn't do it, but no one really has said or given me a good reason why not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The question I have is because suddenly here we've got to do it. It's an emergency right now. We've got to do it. And going back to that original question, why didn't you Democrats pass the budget and the cap ceiling when you had the opportunity? Okay, Preacher?
Thanks, Joe. Get a mulligan if you care to. We saw the same thing with Obamacare. We saw the same thing with the Obama stimulus package. It has to be done right now. We've seen the same thing here in Lake County. Whenever you see politicians or hear politicians trying to push something through in the middle of the night and it has to get done right away, you know something doesn't smell right. Let's go to the presidential suite where Ronald Reagan is hanging around. Hey, President Reagan.
Reverend, Elder Minister, yes. Hello.
Welcome to the program, President.
I have contention with the caller about how government works, and after, being a Democrat and then a Republican and now a dead zombie, hello. Hello, what's that beeping? What? Hello.
Is that
Nance?
But you still have jet black hair, zombie or not.
Yes, and a craving for brains, jelly beans, and that lambs and candies. Yes.
What's the difference? Brains, jelly beans, livers?
Generally taste, but when you could. Well, anyway, I'd like to congratulate you on winning the Martin Luther King Jr. Award. He was a fine man. He built many bridges. Anyway, I just want to say that according to the law, the legislative creates the law. The executive, or that person in my chair, who I like to refer to there, executes the law. She carries it out, and the judicial interprets when it's brought to them. So the caller saying all three branches are under Democratic control is, well, rather false. And as far as congressional control, that snot nose, thing that George W. had enjoyed nearly 8 years, well, let's say 6 years, 75% of his time as president with Republican control of the House, and only just about 3 years or so with Democratic control. So as far as those people not being able to get things together, well, that's just how government is supposed to work. And, you know, there's always a flip-flop and, you know, voting your conscience instead of party line. And, well, there's a lot of fear-mongering going on, and I'm getting kind of tired, and I think I'm going to take it.
Well, Prez fell asleep on us. Well, a little nap is in order. Chairman
He's
Rao
old.
from China East Side. Hey, Rao.
Hello, preacher man. How are you? This is Chairman Mao, broadcasting from Fuxin, China.
Pleacher, no funny someplace else anymore.
Why not?
I don't know, but I'm not on the blackball list anymore at Lunghwa. So thank you.
Oh well, we are going to fix that for you. We'll give you free pass to Lunghwa.
I'm off the blackball list.
You take you off a black ball.
I'm off a blackball list.
Black ball list.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, you forgot to clarify if a tax be put on a grocery.
These are not a grocery, so everything was taxable.
You crazy capitalist pig.
Yes, everything is taxable.
Everything is taxable. In China, we give these things to you when we determine they to be made.
I understand that completely, and I think that's a great thing. But it's not really Listerine in China, is it? It's not brand name stuff.
No, it's a Listerine.
Yeah, it's a
Listerine.
Listerine. Yeah,
Listerine.
exactly.
Just like in America, Listerine.
Exactly. What happened?
Yes.
What happened?
Great for the fresh breath.
I bought my computer. I guess it must have come from China, because the L is where the R is supposed to be, interestingly enough.
That's a very interesting. A Packard?
Yeah,
L,
exactly.
Or E machine.
Hey, Taria.
No L in E machine.
Taria Sia coming up with the news, and we'll hum it down the final half hour on the Region Underground. Stick around. Yeah, it's a Listerine.